Hey y'all, what is up? It is Amaya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about what my high school cheer team was actually like. And if I'm a little awkward in this, it's because I know a lot of people from my high school are watching this video simply because they're nosy. And yeah, but I do want to put a disclaimer out before I start this video. This has nothing to do with the reason on why I left the high school. If some of y'all know like a little bit of truth to the story on why I left high school, the cheer team was a big reason, which was my senior year of cheer on why I left high school. I'm not talking about my senior year of cheer at all. I'm just talking about my sophomore, my junior year. And yeah, but I do plan on doing a video about that, but it definitely involves a lot of people and I don't want to offend some people. But yeah, I just don't want to leave anything out, and I just want to give y'all the receipts and all the footage and the proof and facts. But yeah, this video has nothing to do with that, so stop being nosy. But no, this is simply just about my junior and my sophomore year of cheers. So I'm just gonna get right into the video. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and yeah. Okay, so basically I'm just gonna start off by talking about what the process was to even get on this cheer team and how it was like a life or die situation. Like I was definitely like, if I did not make this cheer team, I was not going to high school at all. Like that's embarrassing, and I just have to be on this cheer team. They're so good and I just want to be on it. And I simply wanted to be on the cheer team mainly because, if you didn't know, I am homeschooled now, but I was also homeschooled my 8th and my 9th grade year. So I missed out completely on my freshman year of high school, so I wasn't gonna know anybody. I haven't spoke to anybody in like 2 years, so I was just completely like the new girl at school. And I just, you know, being on a sports team, that is definitely a way to like open up and meet new people. So I was like, oh, I want to try out for the cheer team. So soon enough, I did make tryouts, but basically I'm gonna tell you what went down in tryouts. My first year of trying out for that cheer team, they were probably about like, I don't even know, there were like 70 girls at that tryout, like no joke. Like everybody and their moms was there. Like everybody wanted to be on this cheer team. There were so many girls and I was so nervous. And they only take like 22 or 24 people on the cheer team, so like out of 60 girls, like 24 of us are gonna make it. And basically the principal had to sit in the tryouts along with an assistant principals. They hired 3 judges that were completely out of the state to come in to make sure no cheating was going on whatsoever, because there's always been rumors about cheating and how people are just, you know, just finding their way to get on the cheer team. So the principal had to be up in there. And in most tryout situations, when does the principal ever go to tryouts? Like if you were trying out for like the baseball team, imagine your principal being there. Like what? Like that's how you know like some sketchiness was going on already. But yeah, basically that night, how they did cheer, how you would find out is that everyone was still there. Tryouts took maybe about like a 6-hour process, no joke, with how many girls they had, and then they had to do callbacks, and then they had to add up everybody's scores. And basically they just gave everybody an envelope. They specifically asked, don't open it, but of course everyone's gonna open it there, so they did. And basically when you open the envelope, it is from the best person at tryouts to the worst person at tryouts, and it had everyone's numbers, so you know who the person was. Like imagine how embarrassing that is for people who literally had like the lowest scores. So from the top person who were trying out to like the lowest person on the cheer team, which was like number 60 or something like that. Out of all the girls on the cheer team, like you were about to find out like who's the worst on the team. And that's so embarrassing. But basically, I'm not trying to flex or anything, but I got number 6 on the cheer team, so I was so happy. And my friend who I tried out with, she got 5th, and I'm not trying to say like, ooh, like I'm good and all like that, but like 2 girls who were above me, I was just like, how in the heck? But like whatever, like it don't matter. But a lot of stuff popped off like after everyone opened their envelopes. one lady was threatening the coach. A returner member like didn't make the cheer team, so like her mom was going off. Like this girl winded up leaving school, going to a different high school and trying out for their cheer team and making their cheer team, and was like so petty about it. So like that's basically how tryouts went. My personal opinion, I don't think that they should have listed who was best and who was worst in tryouts, because one, that's simply embarrassing for some people, and I just think it like fills some people's heads like up, kind of like how I did mine, but like you get the point. So basically that's how tryouts went. To be on this cheer team, it was literally so expensive. Like we probably spent like over like $3,000 to be on the cheer team, no cap, not even over exaggerating. We had a total of 3 uniforms, and on my junior year they took off a uniform. We had to get a whole new custom made uniform, not to mention that all these uniforms, like the 2 of them, they were used ones, so like we had to get it altered to fit our body. We would have varsity jackets, new pom-poms every year, new shoes, new uniforms. We would have coaches come in to teach us stunts. We'd have coaches come in to teach us tumbling. We would have choreographers from LSU come. Like it was adding up, and don't even get me started on what our cheer camps were like, because they were literally like luxury vacations. Like we was kind of being bougie, but like they were like, we had like a beach house for cheer camp. So like being on the cheer team, it was so freaking expensive for no reason. So to get into a little bit of the tea, I'm gonna be starting off with one of the first situations that I've ever gotten with being on the cheer team. I was on the cheer team as a middle schooler. Like we had like a little cheer team in like junior high, and then high school. High school is completely different from junior high. I really didn't like know too much about like how the football games and stuff are like, but basically we had to do like a lineup. Like if you know, like if you ever been to a football game, how they have cheerleaders like lined up, well, you know, they have a student section and a parent section. I really didn't think it mattered to be like on what section it was. Like the coach never like really went over it to like the new girls on the team, so I was just like, okay, like it didn't matter. Well, when I got placed in the lineup, I wound up being on the student section line. They have a front and a back line. I was on the back line, but like it really didn't matter who was on the front and back, because like literally everyone could see you. So I wound up being on the student section side. In that practice, there were definitely like a lot of like eye rollings toward the coach. There was definitely like a lot of attitudes and like a lot of shade just being thrown. And at the end of practice, like my friends like took me to the side. 2 of them were returners, and they were like, girl, you got on the student section side. And a lot of people were mad about that, because apparently everyone wanted to be on the student section side. Now being on the cheer team, I could see why, but you're gonna see what happened with me being on the student section side and me being a new person to the cheer team. Next practice, well, during that practice, one of the girls winded up crying. It was like she would have been a junior, I think. She was a junior, and she was crying because I didn't know at the time, but she was crying. And next practice came around, and I found out like all the tea on why some of the girls that were on the cheer team longer felt like they should have been on the student section side. Well, it always went by like last year too. Like if the coach saw you like joking off on the sidelines, like part of the reason why you are in the parent section side was because you were like goofing off or whatever. Well, the coach winded up moving me. I was the only person, no, it was me and one other girl got moved out of student section side all the way to parent side. And at the end of the practice, I told the coach something about it, because I didn't think it was right for a person to cry in order to earn their spot, especially if they're 17 years old and you're crying because you don't want to be in a parent section side. Like I had a problem with that. And basically the coach was just like, oh, everyone gets their chances. Like when you're a senior, you'll be on the student section side. Like it's gonna be fine. And I was just like, all right, whatever. So that was one of the incidents that had happened, but it literally was like this all year long. Let me tell you how they did lineups for dance routines. For dance routines, y'all, they literally did it by grade. We had a home pom dance, and basically it's this big dance, and we would have like a guest choreographer coming from LSU. And basically how they did lineups was basically like who was in the front and who was in the back. They would do seniors in the front, juniors in the middle, sophomores going to the back, and freshmen in the back. It didn't matter if you were ass. You got to be in the front if you were a senior. What? Like, that is so dumb to me. Like, it shouldn't be about like what grade you in. It's about like who is best, who deserves to be in the front and everything. And that was like a major like red flag for me, because I was just like, what? And of course I was new to the team, so I was completely in the back. And yes, I felt some type of way about it, because I don't think I deserved to be in the back over some of the girls that were on the cheer team. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I was better than a lot of girls, but I was. And I was just like, well, I'm in the back. Like, it's because I was new to the team. And it was like that also with pictures. Any kind of group picture, we would have seniors in the front, juniors in the middle, and it would be like sophomores and then freshmen. And it was just like, it was so unnecessary. I feel like that is the most shittiest way to do like dance routine spots. Like, that definitely started a lot of drama with people, because they had one favorite girl who was like in my grade group, and she would always get in the front, so that started like a whole bunch of drama with people too on that. But that was like fucked up. Incident number 2, I'm gonna be, look how cute she is. Ooh. So incident number 2, I'm gonna be talking about what this captain was like, y'all. My first year at cheer, oh my god, the captain, I think she was literally like the worst captain you literally could possibly feel. Sorry if I just offended people, but like, she was so freaking mean, bro, for no reason. She was so fake at first too. Like, at tryouts and everything, she came up to me and was like, you're so pretty, you're so good, like, oh my god, your tumbling's pretty. And then like when she became captain, like after everyone like fell for it, oh my god, like, she was a nightmare. Like, oh my god, she was so bad. She literally walked over the coach. Like, this captain literally did everything. She did placements in a routine, she ran practices all by herself, and the coach would literally just sit on her phone on the stage and just like be looking like, oh, okay. All right, my battery had died, but I think I was talking about the captain. But basically, she won with her picking like who was where in a routine. That's not a good thing, because obviously she's gonna have friends, and obviously I didn't like her and I wasn't close with her like a lot of the girls were. And a lot of people like my age, like, or like in my grade group, like, of course we were in the back. Like, we weren't your friends, we didn't know you like that, we didn't even like you like that anymore, so of course we were always in the back. And definitely, if you were a coach, I would not let another student around our age pick where we go. Like, that is just stupid. Like, what? Basically, with her being captain, she would run practices. Practice ended at like, I don't know, I think it ended at 4:30, but there was really no telling when practice ended, because like we would literally be staying like 40 minutes after practice ended, an hour after practice ended, 15 minutes. Like, it was always like practice ran over way over time. And the problem with that is because like we're the underclassmen, like, we didn't have cars or anything like that, so like our moms weren't about to wait in the parking lot for an hour after practice is over, waiting on us, wondering when we're gonna get out, because there's no telling. So like, it would be easy for them, because if you're a senior or junior, you easily could just like drive away. And like, we were stuck there like 40 minutes like after practice ended. Like, it was ridiculous. And sometimes my parents had to take off of work to even come and get me from the school. So you can see how this is about to turn into a problem. But basically, practice would run like way over time, because she was very nitpicky about something. She would literally go up to each and every one of us underclassmen and like be like, it's not this, it's this. Like, not this, this. Like, nitpicking about everything. And it was just like, practice would go over and over and over. This one incident is why I almost left the cheer team, because basically practice ended and she realized that we did not even go over like our entry to the football game. Like, football season was coming and we barely practiced it, and she wanted us to practice it. We would have to go on the other side of campus, all the way on the football field, carry out flags, carry out signs. We'd have to get everyone's placement. Like, everybody was just going back and forth. This was gonna take probably about like an hour practice, so like an hour longer after practice has ended. My parents had specifically, well, my dad specifically took off work, had to come get me, and would have to drop me off at home and go back to work on some days. And this was one of the days he had to do that. And I was like, oh my god, like, I literally cannot stay for practice. Like, my mom's gonna be mad, because he's, you know, he's getting off of work to come and get me right now, and now practice is about to be held on for over an hour, and he was already there. So on the way of walking, all of us was spread out. Some people were already on the football field. The coach was like in the cafeteria. Like everyone was everywhere getting everything. This was about to be like a big practice. Everyone was aggravated because we had to stay. And basically I was walking and my mom was calling me on the phone. She was cursing me out. And I was just like, oh my God, like I gotta leave. So my mom was like, no, you're gonna leave. So I was walking next to one of the upperclassmen, and basically I told them, I was like, yo, like I gotta leave. Like this is not okay for them to run practice over an hour when it's ended, and like my mom or my dad or whoever got me that day specifically had to like take their time and come and get me. So I explained it to her and she was like, no, it's okay, like go, I'll explain it all to the girls, like it's gonna be fine. So I leave because like I wanted to say the coach was in the cafeteria, but I really didn't know where she was because in practice, she wouldn't always be there. Like sometimes she would leave for like 30 minutes and come back, and like I never really knew where she went. Like a lot of people didn't know where she went. I think she was like grading papers in her classroom. So that next day at practice, I had came back to school and I had went to the cheer room to put my stuff down because we have like our own little cheer room. And I sat my stuff down, and like the girls like that were in my group were like, well, in my grade, they were like, oh my God, she was like, the coach went off yesterday when you left. She's saying how she wanted you kicked off the cheer team, you weren't allowed to participate in any more games anymore, and that she's telling the principal, da 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 da. Whoa, hold up. Whoa, sis, like I hit the cheer coach with a fact, okay? She pulled me out of, so later that day I had called my mom, and my mom was very upset about it. She said she would talk to the principal if any of that stuff happened because we were close to the principal and that shit shouldn't have happened. And I'm gonna explain why I shouldn't have gotten in trouble for that. This happened like 2 months ago because we also had summer practices like almost every single day. One of the upperclassmen left practice before it even ended, before we dismissed, before the cheer coach could say you could get in your cars and drive off. She literally got in her car, drove off before practice even ended, didn't get in trouble. They like made a joke about it and they were like, oh my God, like ha ha ha, like she's so stupid, didn't get in trouble. But when I do it, they trying to get me freaking kicked out the school. They're trying to get me expelled and arrested because I left practice whenever it was supposed to be ended. I didn't want to stay another hour. Like my dad wasn't about to wait for me. And I told the cheer coach that. You know what she said? This host said we talking about now, basically what she was saying, that happened 2 months ago and this is happening now. Oh, okay, cool. So my mom wanted to telling the principal what happened, and basically he talked to the cheer coach and he said like I did have to have some type of punishment for it, even though the other girl was supposed to have one too. So I just had to sit out like 2/4 of the game, which was like 40 minutes, and I was just like, oh my God, like I literally wanted to leave the cheer team because of that situation that happened, simply because like that was just so unfair. And for you as a cheer coach to be like, that happened 2 months ago,
like what kind of shit, like
why the cheer team hated the dance team. This is some tea, y'all, okay? Ow, tea, okay? So basically, anything that we did, the dance team felt the need to do. So basically, I'm gonna start off about the incident about the cheer rooms. We have a whole stage, right? With mats and everything on it. We have one room right here for us to get dressed in, and then it was the cheer coach's office. Well, the cheer coach felt bad for the dance team because they had to get dressed in the bathroom and like leave their clothes in the gym or something like that. So the cheer coach gave up her office and decided to let the dance team have that room. So this was the cheer room and this was the dance team's dressing room, right? So it already started problems up there because we were like, why do they have to have your office? Because it was just like this was like our thing, like our hangout area. Now they're gonna be up here all the time. And let me tell you what they did. So we decided to remodel our cheer room, right? Like full on paint the walls, paint the wood floors, like remodel the benches, put quotes on the walls, change the shelves. Like it literally got like remodeled. they decided right after we did that to redo their room. Okay, but we got permission. We had to get permission from the janitors and the principal themselves, and they said it's fine. They didn't ask anybody, and this was our part of the cheer room, right? They painted the damn cheer room purple. Not even school colors. They painted the cheer room purple. Didn't tell anybody. Okay?
Purple. Like,
what? So y'all, they got in so much fucking trouble for that shit. They had to repaint it like at least school colors back. It was so bad. They didn't even paint it nice. And it was literally always stuff like that. Like literally anything we did, they did. Like we had this thing where we would bring like football players like popsicles like every Wednesday or something because it was really hot on the field, and it was just something nice. And like, you know, that's something that cheerleaders do. You show team spirit and like give other, we would always like do stuff for other teams. Like volleyball, we'd give them like candy bags. We would always do stuff like that. All of a sudden, the dance team wants to start doing it. We start wearing like these tulle bows in our hair, like you get it from like Hobby Lobby. All of a sudden, they have to wear tulle. We start painting our face with like paw prints. They had to paint their face with paw prints. We would order a bus to take us to away games rather than driving separate. We had to wind up sharing a bus with them because they couldn't afford their own bus. So we had to share with them our bus, our party bus that we had the best memories the best memories on. We had to share it with them. And not only that, some of us, like we had specific spots on the bus, like not like coach wise, but like we wanted to go like on specific spots sometimes. And like when they got on the bus, they just messed our system up, and it was always stuff like that. That's why we did not like the dance team, because they were just
trying to be like us or whatever.
Okay, so another big thing that happened with like everybody on the cheer team involving was pep rallies. At pep rallies afterwards, sometimes we would have to clean. Like sometimes it would be the dance team that has to clean. And honestly, they probably just wanted to clean because we had to clean. Just saying. And sometimes the band had to clean and we would have to pick up. Well, after every pep rally game, we would also go out to eat as a team together. Well, sometimes some of the girls wouldn't help clean, like upperclassmen, and like being specific, they would just jet out and they would leave. Not only, we would have to wait for some of our parents to come and like get us to bring us, and then afterwards we would like go to so-and-so's house. We would just like, you know, chill and wait until the game started. Well, so we wouldn't arrive to like the restaurant or wherever we were eating till like 30 minutes after them being there, and the coach specifically told them like they needed to stop doing that. And then one time, one of like the girls in our group didn't show up, and I didn't show up because I was just like, there's no point of going if by the time we get there you're leaving. Not only to mention, when we go to these restaurant things, it was like cliquey. We would be in our cliques. We wouldn't even be sitting as a team. We would be in cliques. And then after, like when some of us didn't show up, a big argument started in the group chat. Like the coach had to like sit us all down before the game and like talk to us, because we was all about to fight. Like everyone was so mad, and it was just honestly like, why would I go if y'all are just gonna not even wait for us or even offer us a ride or anything like that? Like sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't, but my mom really didn't like me riding with them. Neither did I, because like they just didn't really care about their lives, and I do, so I didn't want to ride with them. I literally can go on and on and on about how many incidents I got into it with these people, or like how many things we argued about on this team. But like, I want to say that I really didn't get into unrelated drama on the team, like that weren't even cheer related. Like sometimes a lot of the girls were like getting into it with each other because they were like dating like the same guys, and like they was like, I can't tell you how many people were like about to fight each other because they were dating like someone's ex or something. So there was definitely like a whole bunch of like side drama that had nothing to do with like cheer wise. So like I definitely was never really a part of that. So it was really just me and always the captain getting into
it, in my opinion. And the coach was so fake. Like you can't be 40 years old and be that fake towards kids.
But yeah, I'm just gonna end the video off here because I could go on and on about this, and I don't want to make a 30-minute long video for you guys because I don't think y'all are gonna watch all of it. So I'm just gonna end it off here, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.